$10 million. That's the ultimate prize for the WSOP Main Event. Every poker player on earth dreams of sitting at that final table, holding that bracelet, but dreams don't pay the buy-in.
To even have a chance to sit on the table, to even have a chance to win the $10 million, I need $10,000 for the tickets, plus $3,000 for the hotels and flights. $13,000. I'm locking away all my other bank account. I will start with the $4,670 I won at Hustler.
Oh no!
And I will grind it up to $13,000. If I don't grind this up to $13,000 by June 18th, I'm not going to play. This is do or die, so let's go!
I'm at Playground Montreal, playing 2-5 no limit hold'em. First hand here, I look down at pocket nines under the gun. Pre-flop action goes crazy. Low jack and cutoff call, so I squeeze to $140. Only low jack calls. The pot is massive. The flop comes 7-5 deuce. Perfect board for me. Do they have a lot of overpairs in their flatting range? Probably not. I bet $125 and he calls. The turn is an 8 of hearts. It connects with 6, 7, or 9, 8, but I still have an overpair. I decide to put him to the ultimate test and jam all in for $193 effective. If he has floating high cards or bottom pair, he's in hell. He tangs and calls. River is the blank and he mucked. I take it down. Second hand here, I'm in the big blind with ace jack of hearts. Hijack raises, I 3-bet to $95 and he calls. The flop comes jack, 8, 4 rainbow, beautiful. I hit top pair, top kicker. I continuation bet $100 for value and he quickly calls. Now I'm thinking, what's his calling range? Jack 10 suited, queen jack suited, maybe pocket 10s? The turn comes a scary king of spades. I check to pot control. Suddenly, he bombs it for $210. Wait a minute, does he have king queen or king jack? Or maybe he turned a flush draw? It's a huge bet and my hand is completely a bluff catcher now. Discipline is key. I lay it down. I look down at king queen in the big blind. I bet 30 plus 1 calls. Heads up to the flop and it comes A7-4. I miss completely. We both check. The turn is a brick, deuce of spades. Now he stabs for $30 into a $62 pot. Let's think about his range. If he had an ace, why didn't he bet the flop? This $30 looks super weak, like he's just taking a stab with a random pair or a draw. I'm not letting him run over me. I check raise huge to $175, wrapping the ace he doesn't have. He snap folds. Easy money. I am holding ace jack offsuit in early position. I call the straddle. Low jack goes 45. I call. We go to the flop, heads up. The board comes queen 10-4. I have a gut shot straight draw and 2 overcards. I check. He bets $55. And I just call to see a card. The turn is the magic king of hearts. I hit the absolute nuts. Now, do I check to trap or do I lead out? If I check, he might check back with middle pair. I want to build this pot right now. I lead out for $150. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a piece of it and folds, but leading here was definitely the right play. The fifth hand of the day is 8-7 offsuit. We double straddle to $20, cutoff raise to $50, small blind, and I call. We go 3 ways to a flop of 9-6 deuce. I flop an open-ended straight draw. I checks. Cutoff bet 50. Only I call heads up to the turn. The turn is a 7 of spades. Now I have middle pair plus the straight draw. I check and cutoff suddenly bombs $200 into a $267 pot. What is this sizing? Does he have a set, 2 pair, or a flush draw putting pressure? With my pair and draw, I have enough equity to call once. The river is a king of clubs, complete brick. We both check. He shows up with a better hand, but the turn call was mandatory. On the button, with 8 of diamonds, 6 of clubs, under the gun straddle, 1 caller, I make it to $85. Middle position calls, heads up. Flop comes ace, 5, 4, rainbow. I have a gut shot to the 7, middle position checks. This is a great board for my pre-flop raising range, so I continuation bet $75 to represent the ace. He calls, the turn is a 10 of hearts. Now he unexpectedly leads out for $250. Wow. When a player calls a flop continuation bet and then donk leads the turn big, their range is incredibly strong. 2 pair, sets, or a slow played ace. My 8 high is definitely not good here. Easy fold, on to the next one. I straddle to 10 under the gun and look down at ace king of spades. Cutoff makes it 25 and I 3-bet to 110. Then cutoff jams all in for 350. He can have pocket pairs, ace queen, ace jack, or even some suited Broadway hands. Doesn't matter what he have. With ace king suited, I'm never folding here, so I make the call. The flop comes ace 7-3. Perfect. I hit top pair, top kicker. The turn is the 5 of hearts. The river is the 10 of spades. He said,
I have an ace.
Me too.
and I won this hand. Here comes the last hand of the day. I'm under the gun, straddle to 10, look down at ace jack of spades. The small blind, who's a bit of a loose cannon, bumps it to 50. Big blind, low jack, and I call here 4 players to the flop, 8, ace, 3 with diamond flush draw. I flop top pair, strong kicker. Perfect. Small blind leads for 75, we all call. The turn is the ultimate dream card, the jack of clubs. I make top 2 pair, but small blind, he's not slowing down. He bombs it for $325 into a $500 pot. Wow. Is he doing this with ace king, ace queen, or maybe a set? I'm not slow playing this monster. I announce a massive raise to $900. He takes a long time, looks like he's seen a ghost, and folds. He actually had ace 9 offsuit, just top pair, bad kicker. He drastically overvalued his hand on the turn against my improved 2 pair, and I made him lay down some chips. Poker is such a lonely journey. Right now it's 4 a.m. in the morning. I'm just sitting in the car outside the casino while everyone else is having fun or sleeping. Today we finished up $900. It wasn't pretty, but at least we survived, right? So let's get some sleep and we will do another session tomorrow. See you. After locking up the first session, I came back for session 2 with only one mission. Keep building the bankroll and get one step closer to the WSOP Main Event. Let's go. First hand of the day, I look down at ace 9 offsuit in the big blind, straddles to 10. Button makes it 30, I call, and we go 4 ways to a flop. The flop comes 5 of clubs, 6 of diamonds, 8 of hearts. I guess nobody hits. So it checks to the button who bets $50. I have a gut shot to the 7 plus an overcard, so I call. The turn is a brick deuce of spades. It checks all the way around. The river is the magic 7 of diamonds. I hit the straight, but the board has no face cards. If he has 2 pair or a set, he's never folding. I decide to lead out for $125. He calls, and my 9 high straight is good. Beautifully disguised hand. Next, I'm in the small blind with king queen off. Hijack opens, button calls, and I decide to squeeze to $100. Only the button calls. The flop comes ace, jack, 10, boom. I flop the absolute Broadway nuts. I bet $100, hoping he has an ace 2 pair or a flush draw to call me with. But nope, he snap folds. Sometimes you hit the flop so hard that you just completely crush their range. I take the small pot and move on. On the button with queen 3 off. Preflop is a massive family pot. Middle position goes 15. Everyone calls 5 ways to the flop. The flop comes queen 5 king. I hit middle pair with a weak kicker. It checks to me. I step for $35 just to see where I am. Middle position and hijack call. The turn is an ace of diamonds. Now the board is disgusting. It checks through. The river is the miracle queen of hearts. I trip up. It checks to me again. I check back. We showdown. The middle position turns over queen 2. He had queen of diamonds. We chop it up. Gonna love the friendly family pots where everyone goes home happy. Next, double straddle is on. I look down at king queen again in the cutoff and I make it to $60 plus 1 calls. The flop is 4-9 ace. He checks and I see bet $60 to represent the ace. He calls. The turn is a 3 of hearts. We both check. The river pairs the board with the ace of clubs. This is a perfect spot to bluff. It's really hard for him to have an ace now since 2 are on the board and my king high has 0 showdown value. I fire $125. He thinks about it and folds. Pure aggression wins the pot. I straddle under the gun and wake up with ace 4 off. Plus 1 makes it 35. Everybody calls. And 5 players to a flop of 7 of spades, deuce of hearts, deuce of spades. It checks to plus 1, he bets $65. Everyone folds to me. Now, I only have ace high and a backdoor flush draw, but this board is great for my perceived range. If I check raise here, I represent trip deuces or a big overpair perfectly. I rip it to $200. He tanks for a while and throws it away. The check raise bluff works like a charm. Always play the board, not just your cards. In the small blind with ace 5 of clubs. Low jack opens to $30 and I just flat. The flop comes jack 8-3 with 2 clubs. I flop the nut flush draw. I check and he c-bets $35. Now, instead of just calling and playing out of position, I want to take control. I want to maximize my fold equity and build the pot in case I hit my flush. I check raise to $75. He gives up immediately. Aggressive poker is winning poker. Next, I am at cutoff with queen 10 of clubs. I open to $40, hijack calls. The flop is an action board, 6 of clubs, 7 of clubs, and 9 of spades. I have 2 overcards, a gut shot straight draw, and a flush draw. I'm practically dodging raindrops. I bet $60. Suddenly, the hijack jams all in for $500 effective. Wow, with all my draws, I have so much equity that I just can't fold here. I make the call. I need a club or a jack to survive, but I brick the run out. Turn is a 4 of heart, river is 10 of spade. The cards go on their backs. He tables 8-5 of hearts. He flopped the stone cold straight. Sick cooler, but that's just a game of poker. Right after the cooler, I look down at king queen of hearts in plus 1 position. Under the gun, straddles to 10, hijack calls, and I make it $50. Then suddenly, hijack jams all in for $475 effective. He just called the straddle and jams over my raise. At this point, I am on tilt. I decide to gamble and make the call. The flop comes ace 9-4. Not exactly what I wanted to see. There is an ace on board and now I'm already thinking, okay, this could be bad. And he shows aces. Okay, this is bad. Turn is 10 of hearts. Only a heart can save me. River is a deuce of clubs. We lost the hand. After all the chaos, here comes the very last hand of the day. I look down at queen jack of hearts at plus 1. Under the gun straddles to 10. I call. Then he makes it 30. I call. Heads up to the flop. The flop comes ace 8-5 of hearts. I completely miss, but when he checks, I don't think he always has a strong ace here. So I check back and take the free card. The turn is the 9 of hearts. Now I pick up a flush draw. He bets 30 into 67, and for that price, I'm not folding. I call. The river is the 3 of spades. complete brick. I miss everything. At this point, I'm ready to lose at showdown. But somehow, the uncle just mucks without showing queen high. No pair, no nothing. And I take it down. Not a big pot, but honestly, winning the last hand of the day with complete air, I'll take it.
We destroyed the section 2. I racked up $1,000 profit. When I walk out of the casino, I actually felt tears in my eyes. The Vegas dream isn't a dream anymore. It's happening. Let's look at the brutal math. We start with $4,670. After 2 sections, we are up $1,900. So our total bankroll right now is $6,570. That means we are exactly $6,430 short with our $13,000 goal. We are halfway there, but the clock is ticking. The flights are booked and June 18 is approaching fast. Will I crush and burn or will I make it into the biggest stage of poker? I need you guys with me. Hit that subscribe button and leave a comment and wish me good luck. And I will see you guys at the table next episode. We're going to Vegas.